In 2019, many smartphones feature multiple cameras, and they use these for things like cool bokeh effects, super wide panorama shots, and insane telephoto zooms. Other phones like this LG G8 ThinQ also use an innovative sensor technology known as time of flight. So how exactly does time of flight help this G8 ThinQ create a 3D image that's not only able to recognize your face, but also the unique vein pattern in your hand? And what's next? We spoke to Philip von Schierstadt, who's responsible for the sensors here at Infineon.
At the end of the day, it's all about augmented reality, which will happen. It's already there, partially, for some specific entrepreneurial topics, but I think it will hit the ground now for the consumers as well, and you will see 3D enabling this augmented reality world.
But why not just use multiple conventional sensors like we've seen before?
The conventional depth sensor has its limitation when it comes to darkness or it comes to bright sunlight. So if you imagine yourself being in a bar and you want to unlock your phone, for example, it just doesn't work. So with the time of flight, you can unlock it in the darkness as well as in bright sunlight. On top of that, it doesn't need to have very complex algorithms running on your application processor. So it just saves battery lifetime. And by doing this, your smartphone is going to work much longer than with a conventional 2D sensor.
At the heart of every time-of-flight camera is a special laser called a VCSEL. Basically what this does is it emits pulses of infrared light out into an environment. This light then bounces off surfaces in that environment and is returned to an infrared sensitive image sensor. Now every pixel on that image sensor can measure the distance that light has travelled by evaluating the phase shift. This is how you build a precise 3D image of the world around you. It works exactly the same way a bat uses echolocation, only rather than using sound, it's doing exactly the same thing with light. Then take for example this LG G8 ThinQ. Now the time of flight depth sensor in this, not only can it recognize your face, but it can also recognize the vein pattern in your hand. Now that is as unique as a fingerprint. It can be used to unlock your smartphone and do things like authorized payments. There's also a really cool studio mode right in the camera app. Now, because that time of flight sensor can understand space, it allows you to move a virtual light around the subject. For example, you move it to the right-hand side, the right side of that subject will become lighter and the left side will become darker. Compared to rival manufacturers, what are the advantages of Infineon's time-of-flight sensors?
We have set up a kind of a quite simple design, and by this we enable a reliable, cost-sensitive module in the market. And then I think the key topic is also that we have now 150K pixel HVGA coming up, so it just enables you to have a very secure interaction with your mobile. It's very miniaturized, it's very small, it's 5x4 millimeter, and as space matters inside the phone, I think it's key that you have the most miniaturized time-of-flight module available in the market.
What are some specific examples of applications we've not seen yet so far?
So imagine augmented reality, and you work together with a colleague in America, being here in Europe, and you basically work together creatively in order to do some interior design here. Or, for example, that you live in a world without passwords. So basically, time of flight is authenticating you 100%. So the 3D point cloud that we are generating really makes sure that David is David and Philip is Philip and nobody else.
While the smartphone sector is probably one of the most exciting applications of time of flight, there is way more to the technology than that. ToF has already made its way into virtual reality glasses, smart cars, gaming consoles.
And then you move into the robotics world, the automotive world, it's going to be all over the place. But I think key is going to be the consumer. That's where this is going to take off now.
Infineon certainly wants the world to be 3D, and I can't wait to see what happens in the future when time-of-flight sensors populate devices all around us.